Coming to you live where every season is the season of impotence.
It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 132nd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast, and I hadn't pushed the button correctly and I fucked it. Nailed it. Matt's not here for 5 minutes and the whole thing goes to shit, but it's all good because I'm in esteemed company this week. I've got Sloth. He's riding along shotgun as per usual, but we are joined by none other than the Briar Rabbit. Destiny, I don't know, I'm going to say Destiny podcast royalty, but like if there was like a Knights Templar of the Destiny fucking podcast sort of syndicate.
That's giving me way more respect than I deserve.
Hey, I mean, some rulers are horrible people, right?
That's true.
You know, it can't all be a good guy, man. So it is a pleasure to have you here, man. We sort of threw the tweet out just to, you know, Matt's not here. Who wants to come on? And it was good of you to offer your services and get you to jump in for a week. But obviously Matt's in Guardiancon. No worries at all. Matt's at Guardiancon, so I think he's over there hawking overpriced badges or something in Artist Sally. But beyond that, it's good. It's good to see the community get together, as much as it's painful to watch everyone else drinking beer and not being a part of it. But so far so good. I haven't heard too many reports of anyone going too crazy and harming themselves.
The best part about Guardiancon is like the nightlife. Going out with all the people that you've talked to online like a couple of times, but actually being able to like, you know, hug them and share a beer and share like, or like have like, you know, a real conversation.
Like interact like a normal person.
Yeah.
It's almost like your actual, like, proper friends then. I don't know. It's one of those things that, I mean, obviously we're a million miles away from the States and all of that sort of stuff. So there's that whole gulf of distance that really, if we were to get over there, it'd be a huge mission. But even meeting up with people that I play with here, like Chucky and stuff, and you know, it's kind of a daunting thing. I mean, I think we'd done 100 episodes on the podcast before me, Matt, and Sloth had all ever even been in the same room. So but dude, it's cool. I wouldn't swap it for the world. It's that once you get over that initial
the same
awkwardness.
for the Destiny Community Podcast is that we never were in the same room until we went to Guardian.
Well, there you go.
Which is insane. You guys have done 145 episodes or something like that?
145 episodes, 140 something. But we did like 80 something episodes. That's like the same group of people.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it was like we knew each other for a long time before we like met and meet.
It's
weird.
Awesome
to do that.
It is weird.
Totally.
But it's
we need
awesome.
An Australian meetup. That's what we need.
Well, we're gonna put one together for PAX
Australia.
this year. We're gonna do it at PAX this year. So
PAX Australia.
Yeah, it's in Melbourne. I think the 11th to 13th of October. Just a quick plug in there for PAX, just off the top. But yeah, we're gonna do that. It's just gonna be basically here's all the Destiny people go to the pub. That's the strategy.
Yeah,
I'm not too concerned about
that's all we're doing.
Setting up as part of PAX or anything like that. But I think it'll be good. It'll be good to, you know, it's one of those things you don't really, the thing that staggers me with things like Guardiancon is the scale of it. Like you feel, oh, you know, we're all a community, we're all this and we're all that. But until you see all of the people that are in this one place and go, holy shit, this is really a big thing. You kind of don't.
Yeah, but that's how Guardian started too, was in a bar, right? It was like the first year of Guardian was just a bunch of beating up in a bar. It wasn't until the second year that they made it like an official, like, all right, well, maybe we should make this a thing.
Well, there you go. Maybe.
I wonder.
Guardiancon down under.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be all right, eh?
Yeah,
that'd be all right.
Let's just
guys,
temper
in the live chat,
expectations, hey?
In the live chat, ladies and gentlemen, we know that there's a little bit of cutout on Briar. Discord's being weird. It's not his mic. It's not anything on his end that he can fix. It's just Discord being weird. So thank you for letting us know. But in live chat, it's completely fine. So just don't stress.
It's just the way it is.
How's your week been, Briar? Been a good week for you, mate?
Yeah. So it's July 4th, America. The year that we made the first Brexit, right? I want to say it's the 243rd anniversary of our independence, which isn't actually the day we became independent. It's the day we decided we were gonna be, right? It's not actually like the day we won the war. It's the day that we signed up. Yeah, fuck those. So it's a big celebration. A lot of fireworks around here. It's actually why I'm not down. Guardiancon is because July 4th weekend around here is about family, about friends, and it's a big deal. And it's a lot of fun. Drinking beers and fireworks. It's not so.
Now, I just hope that
it's not a very hard
travels...
sell, man. It's not a hard sell.
No, it's kind of my thing. Explosions and alcohol? Hell yeah.
Yeah. I just hope that Matt, like as we stressed last week, Matt is staying with Man at Arms. And Man at Arms is loose, for lack of a better term. And I just hope that Matt doesn't come back with half an arm missing because, you know, like he's blown himself up.
The thing that I looked up about Guardiancon is, like you said, it's basically the two things that I see out of Guardiancon are always how amazing it is to meet everyone and how fucking horrible the weather is in Florida. the two constants.
Stop
and
yeah,
but oi, just hear me out, because I thought it can't be that bad. And then I looked,
it's that bad.
And at 1 a.m. it was 26 degrees and 96% humidity. And I'm like,
yes,
that's just
pure down humidity.
That's just Townsville.
Yeah, that's where Sloth lives, is the armpit of Australia. So he's used to it.
Well, that place sounds
legitimately
beautiful.
That's legitimately just town. That's Chucky and I. So we'll show up next year in bloody
you'll be
jeans
fine.
And we'll be fine. But just for people who don't.
It's one of those things. Whenever I hear people like talk about how it's hot, as an Australian, I go, "Oh, it can't be that fucking hot." And then I look at it and I'm like, that's pretty gross. It's like I can do 45 degrees, but the humidity will fucking kill me.
I live in Connecticut, which is, for people who are unaware of the United States geography, it's like a little bit north of New York, right?
Yeah.
Most people know city. Florida is, if you were to drive for 20 hours due south, right, where it obviously gets hotter as you go, that's where Florida is. It was like 91 degrees, humid as hell today. Connecticut. I'm just thinking to myself, God damn, I'm glad I'm not in Florida.
There's just something too that the human species seems to get heaps crazier the closer to the equator you get. Right?
That's true. That's the sun frying your brain.
I think that's literally, I mean, like Queensland, where Sloth is kind of our crazy state. Or Northern Territory is even worse, but Queensland is the crazy state here. So I can just see Chucky stewing in chat already. You mean sexy? But look, that's one of those things. I'll go and I'll brave it gladly. I'm going to start putting pennies away for next year. I'm sick of missing out.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing too. If it's not on the 4th of July weekend, I'll definitely go. But I'm going to start saving now. But if it's on those set dates on 4th of July weekend, I won't be able to go.
It's 100%
too expensive.
It's just so much fun. Just to be in a meat space with all the right? Like to actually put hand to hand, palm to palm. Yeah, just
absolutely
beautiful.
All right, just give me a quick second, Briar and Log. Just give me a quick second. Let me.
Hello.
Okay.
I didn't agree
I
to
just-
that second. I felt like that second was taking.
It's taken me too, against my will. But it seems to be slightly better
Against
now.
my will.
Thank fuck there's nothing of substance to talk about, because we can just sit here and tinker
Is
with
it that bad? You guys can't hear me at all, or
No, it's fine. It's
No,
better
it's
now. It was
fine.
cutting out a bit.
I'm just, yeah, it was just cutting out a bit. So yeah, sorry about that.
I'm gonna
brother.
leave the call.
No, it's fine. It's probably just Discord just being an asshat, man.
I think it's
Like I said,
that
it's
is
not
what it is.
audio. It's it is what it is. Right. But yeah, I would love to go to Guardiancon. I really would, but it's just a matter of cost because I live in Satan's asshole, as people have said, and I've got to fly from here to the nearest capital city. Which
You should
is
just be
nearly
able to teleport
$500
straight
in
there.
itself.
It's like the same region, really. You should humidity
nice.
teleporting. I don't know. Matt gets to go on
That'd
these
be
cool
nice.
things, but he's also the one that's actually a proper YouTuber and stuff. So
But he
it's
fucking
probably-
he sold out to EA. Matthew, if you're
Oh.
watching, he sold out to EA.
He's not watching. He's in a pub somewhere. It's
I know,
fine, in a bar.
I know he's not.
How did he sell out EA?
I just when Anthem was in its just about to drop, he got contracted to make a few lore videos for it, and people in his channel were just flying off the handle, just saying "sell out," rah! just going absolutely burko because that's just what they do. But he's made a video going, "I'm disappointed in you." He went with the disappointed dad speech.
Yeah, sure.
It worked.
Yeah,
It
I'm so
worked.
sorry that I provided you with free content and made enough money to feed my
Exactly.
family. Fuck off, asshole.
Exactly.
That was it. That was basically it in a nutshell. But he did it over a 10-minute span, and it just gradually eroded away at everyone who watched the video's sense of entitlement. It was beautiful. But I mean,
It was beautiful.
given that we're his mates, it would be wrong of us not to rib him about it at every given opportunity about how horrible a sellout he is now.
Absolutely.
So.
Oh, no, I totally understand why you would definitely bust his chop.
Anthem content creator of repute, Mylan Games. Oh no, but I mean, it's good to see. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the thing that staggers me is just, oh, I know that person, and I know that person, and they're meeting each other, and I'm like, fuck, I'm just sitting there on the lounge at home. This sucks. It's so cool, but hey, it's a goal. I think we'll make the goal next year, and we'll probably miss it again and go the year after or something. But we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I'd like to go.
That's got a
but-
curiosity. How much is a plane ticket? Australia. Like, do you know off the top of your
I don't know off the top of
Well,
my
for
head.
you,
I know
Rob, it
because
would
I
be-
looked it up yesterday out of just envy.
Oh,
So to get from where, and I'm near Sydney, so I'm not too far from a capital city that flies straight to the States, and it's still the better part of $2,000 just in flights.
2,000 Aussie dollars.
Yeah, dollary dues.
How do you know?
about-
do you know how much that converts to?
About 1,200.
it's
About
about
1,200
$1,200
American.
12. That's a significant.
Yeah.
But if we got everybody watching the podcast now, you guys have a Patreon?
No, we don't.
Like next year, maybe we need to start a Patreon so that we can get you to.
See, this is the kind of
Get you
hustle
to
that
go to
this is the kind of hustle that we
Guardiancon
need.
next year.
We need to sub Briar in. He can be
Yeah,
like our
man.
coach. Because the rest
this
of us
shit
are
is
just like,
expensive, but like $5 per person make this.
make a dream come true for a disadvantaged sloth.
That's right.
Of
course,
It would be.
You're gonna have
It would
to
be.
do like karaoke or something real stupid when you get there to make
Oh,
it worth it.
I'll do that for nothing.
Log does that for nothing. I mean, like I said, I'd love to, but I can't expect or can't even ask. It's a weird thing up here. It's a weird thing up here, and
We've
it's probably
discussed
not
it.
ideal.
We've discussed it.
We have discussed. It's a weird thing up
but
here
what
where
you
I
gotta
go.
do, right, is you gotta make it worthwhile, right? Is you've gotta square that. So you've got to say, okay, like if everybody's giving me, let's say, an average $20, what can I give my community that's worth $20? And I
Briar,
think,
I've been streaming on Twitch for 3 years, and I still haven't given my community anything.
I think a nice ass tattoo, that's worth $20.
What tattoo? What would you get tattooed? We can fucking think. There's no news, so we can just sit here and iron this out.
And I'm on board with that.
You want Sloth to get a tattoo of himself dancing on his own ass.
Anybody in chat, would you pay $20 for Sloth to get a tattoo of Sloth on his own ass? I think everybody in chat would pay for that.
My tattoo artist would fucking hate me so much.
I mean, that's the point.
he would despise me.
I'm pretty sure he'd despise you no matter what you had to get tattooed on your ass, just for the sheer, being in the proximity of your ass. I'd be filthy. It's fucked. We don't think about tattoo artists often enough and the horrible parts of the body that they have to like. It's not all arms, man, or fucking legs.
No.
All right.
True. Everyone's
okay. Well, that shower's
an asshole.
And then the shower scotch sketch on you, Log.
I will get that tattooed on my ass if you get a gif of yourself tattooed on your ass. I will get that piece of shit fucking. It was drawn with a stylus on a mobile phone. You know what?
This is a bad time.
I didn't think there was anyone that could come onto this show and like drive it down harder than we do. But Briar, man, fuck.
Well, you called up the right guy.
Nailed it.
It was so funny because when I came on the DCP, there was like this mantra for a week leading into it where everyone's going, mate, Log, you can't say cunt. Just don't say cunt. And the first thing, basically, I got there and you were like straight into me about it. Oh, you can say cunt. You can. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not doing it. I think everyone, Watts didn't, but all you boys did. It was good.
Yeah, but then
I got back and I was talking to everyone. I was talking to like Nick and stuff, and they're like, it was the weirdest week of my life because I was just being congratulated for not saying cunt. That was go Log. You didn't say cunt. I mean, this is probably setting a new record for saying it right now. So there's that. But
and you get into me for saying it more than twice.
Oh, you've got to kind of keep a lid on it. It's funny when Matt says it, because he's got to be really angry. I think
oh god,
was it the EA surprise mechanics that got it out of him the other week?
Oh man, did you guys talk about that? That was
dude, that is just fucking
what a
stupid.
shit fight. I mean, that's like there have been memes upon memes of that on Reddit and all that sort of thing. But who in their right mind goes off and says writes, because that seemed like it wasn't off the cuff. It was written as part of that lady's speech.
Did you see her face when she was saying it? She didn't even believe what she was saying. You know what I mean?
Like she really didn't.
Can you imagine the boardroom? Imagine the boardroom meeting where they're all sitting there like staring down at their sheets of paper like, how do we talk our way around this? And the one genius guy goes, surprise mechanics. And they all go, yes,
that's genius. Who's going to say it?
You. Who got here? Who's the first on, first off? It's you. Even the guy that was like the Scottish dude that was the barrister or whatever, like gave it this look of like, are you fucking serious? That's the games industry, people. That's how out of touch these fucking people are. Holy shit. But
well, these publishers anyway.
Hey, do we want to talk about Destiny? Do we want to talk about the one thing that's happened in Destiny, that the gun name that we can't all agree on how to pronounce it?
Oh,
Lumine?
Stop it.
Lumina?
Lumina?
Stop.
So the funny thing with this is that I'd say it Lumina, but I started saying Lumina just to piss off Sloth. And now I'm calling it that against my own free will. So the meme has just bitten me and I've become a fuckwit. So, but I mean, I haven't become a fuckwit. I've been one for a long time. I just keep it on the down low.
No, you've been one for years, mate. It's not even on the down low.
Yeah. Live your best fuckwit life.
That's right.
Yeah, so you've got the Lumina that geez, people are really enjoying it too. But the thing that's come out of this quest line is that once the quest line's finished, you can pull the rose out of your collections, and the rose with the range master work and the roll on it is just, it's really good. Every time I speak to someone about the rose, they're like, "Oh, make sure when you get the gun, you pull the one that you get out of the collections and just have it on your character."
I haven't gotten the Lumina. Is it? It's 150. It's 150 RPM hand cannon.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
and is the rose 150 RPM as well?
That's at 180, isn't it?
Yes.
No, it's all right. Okay.
Or is it 140? Is it 140?
Need to look it up.
Wait a second.
I know it's not. No, it's not a 180. I know the community rejoiced that it wasn't a 180 because they're kind of sucky. But I think the thing with Lumina,
it's a 140.
It's still my head in the name of this gun. But a lot of
Lumina,
what people are,
Lumina.
A lot of what people are most excited about with it, and I agree with this. And we've seen it in little dalliances before, but it is quite literally it's a gun that's made to be used as a support weapon. Like, it's a direct support weapon. You get a kill with it.
Yeah.
You get the buff. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. You can then shoot an ally. You just hip fire at an ally, and it heals them and gives them a buff. Like, it's a direct support weapon. I think
it's got
it's
got a good tracking too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just hip fire it in someone's general direction. It seeks. It's like, basically, you get a kill, it drops an orb, the orb comes to you, and then you can choose to shoot it at someone else. I guess is the way of looking at it. But
well, see, this is the thing, and this is the step towards the MMO type of situation that Bungie seem to be wanting to go for, is have actual classes that do specific things in whatever activity you're doing. Instead of a warlock just being the healer, the warlock can be everything at the moment. Like the well does healing, it does damage buff, it does blah 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 blah. But what if it was just about healing? What if the Titan was just about doing that damage output, and the hunter was your damage support, so to speak? Like in certain subclasses, very similar to WoW, so to speak. Like, they want to move. It looks like that they want to move. They want to use weapons and armor pieces and actually move more down the path of a MMO light situation, which is
I mean, I can't see it ever going.
And frightening at the same time.
I can't see it ever going full blown MMO. Like, I think anyone with that serious expectation is probably going to end up being ultimately disappointed. But this sort of thing really excites me because it changes the way you can completely change the way you approach encounters, which is probably the one thing with Destiny at the moment where we're doing a lot of the same things over and over again. So if you can go in and play a different role, it's like, when you're playing WoW and you're like, okay, well, I'm DPS, and then you play the same raid, but you're a support character. It's almost like a different content, or almost like different content. You get to experience something different, and there's a different responsibility. I mean, I can't wait till we get to the point where anyone who's carrying Lumina, fuck this gun. anyone who's carrying that gun gets yelled at for being too close to the action. Like, get the fuck back, man! Get the fucking healer. You got to stay back. I like that idea.
Well, I mean, there's that, and that kind of ties into like Overwatch and all that sort of thing, those MOBAs and all that sort of shit too. Is that your specific class has to stay behind the pillars of the front line, so to speak, which is, like, you'll have hunters spamming Genji, I need healing, and he's like, no, shut up. But it's I like the way that they're going with it. I do like the way that they're going with it.
I know that.
Well, for PvE, like, imagine going into a raid and not only are your subclasses set up, you're also like trying to think, all right, well, if I'm going to act as a healer here, if I'm going to act as a support class, then yeah, the Lumina is definitely like the weapon I'll bring in. I'll stop. Like,
do it.
You're fine.
You're gonna need to commit to it. You're gonna commit to
it. But like in a raid situation, like, raids are to me, they're like the pinnacle PvE activity. It's like, that's what I come to Destiny for when a new season breaks. Is I want a new raid, grind for that raid. I want to go in with my fire team, have like a, possibly a 12-hour, raids with some of my best friends. But like for Destiny to be like kind of breaking out subclasses and now breaking out weapons in a way that, gives me a role to play is really exciting. And I think this is the beginning. It's exciting to think what's going to happen in 12 months or 2 years.
Yeah. And I think like we've seen them take these little steps in this direction before. Like, I mean, you look at when they rejigged the tractor cannon and it made, so if you voop something with that, it then ups the amount of damage that comes in from all void sources. So there's kind of been these little tweaks and little perks that have kind of been more support driven than any other gun. But this is doubling down on that. And I mean, they showed in the Shadowkeep Vidoc, or whatever you want to call it, that they had that other gun. I think it was like a trace rifle that you, like, while you kept it on it made like a massive orb that was like a crit spot for the enemy that you were targeting. So when you start to think, about the possibility of, you have one person who's making it easier for everyone to do damage and another person who's keeping everyone alive to do damage longer, rather than everyone stand on the, the well and just fucking haul ammo down range. It'll be interesting to see how this affects the way they design the encounters, right? Because if they continue down the same design philosophy, you're not really going to need to do this shit. But I hope that they sort of force it in hand a bit.
And then tie that in with the with contest and all that sort of thing, especially around World's First. The more that they hone in on having specific setups and classes and blah, 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 contest is going to make things a lot harder for longer raids. And if they do bring another Last Wish type of situation with Shadowkeep, it's going to be insane, if that makes sense. Like it's going to be utterly insane. People are going to spend hours upon hours of.
You mean like the amount of varied approach that could go into a raid?
Yeah. Instead of people just sort of, because this is what happens. It's a raid. It's a World's First raid. I've noticed that some casters, they have 5, 6, 10, 15 tabs open of the bigger streamers, or the people who are the raid.
Yeah,
gods,
the most
speak,
likely front runners in the raid race.
So your Dados, your Giggses, your Redeems, your CG, your B Bolds, and all that sort of thing. They've got those guys open because they're the ones that just go, okay, how do we do this? Let's organize a way to. Let's organize a strategy, and then let's get it working. And if people see that it's working, then they bring that into their own raid team. That being said, imagine if you didn't have to do that and you were just figuring it out on the fly. And if you had a weapon, or if you had a support class, or if you had a certain bunch of characters set up in a certain way, then does that make sense? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. It happens all the time. This is fine.
Just blame the tropics, man. It's fine.
Well, I can see a situation where you go into a raid, and let's say you do like a traditional setup where you got 2 of every class. You got 2 Titans, you got 2 Warlocks, you got 2 Hunters. And you realize we kind of need 3 Warlocks for this, because we're splitting up into 2 or 3 teams of 2. Everybody needs a well. Like, I could see a situation that happen. I would love to see more than 6 players. Like, I'd love to like a 12. How epic would that be?
I think it'd be incredible once you'd ironed it out, but it would be absolute fucking chaos.
Day one would be madness.
Like, I mean, you look at even like take Redeem as an example. They had 2 teams running in the last race. You combine that into one fucking massive team, and there's 12 dudes all in there pushing in the same direction, dude.
And everybody's got an idea on what we should do next, right? Like, hold on, wait.
Someone's gonna have to go into dad mode and just
yeah.
Raid leader, 2 IC. Everyone else is the pleb.
Yeah, we're going to need an actual command structure for raids.
But like, how many more things can they do with 6-man raids? Like, I feel like we've done so many different combinations. Like, all right, we're going to split it into 2s. We're going to split it into we're gonna land on a plate, we're gonna rotate plates, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like I feel like the next logical step is people.
Yeah, when you think about it like that.
Well, I mean,
just the scale of it.
A 12-man raid. A 12-man raid. Normal zone. And then you've got a zone with, I don't know, Taken or something like that, passing buff between each other. They've got that metaphysical bleed that happens when you kill Riven, and you've got to go in there and get the heart. So you're passing a buff between each other, and then you've got these standard stations that you pass the buff between the two, and then second team goes into Taken area, first team comes back out in the normal. And you've just got enemies and enemies and enemies, and then passing the metaphysical bleed, and you've got people talking on top of each other. Like that right there is a massive throwback to just the epic fucking raid times that you had in like Cataclysm and shit like that from World of Warcraft, which is just insane. And I'm excited
you got to be
to
careful,
see what
man, because World of Warcraft was like heroin for you. It nearly ruined your life.
It really was. It really was.
Go that fucking go that far.
It really was, yeah.
Sorry, Sloth can't do the podcast anymore because he just has to mainline Destiny for his entire existence. I'll stop picking on you. Anyway, I think
bit of backstory, like it's anyway, sorry, mate. Go on.
I was just going to say that you raise a valid point with more than 6-player raids, because there's no. I think when anyone sort of hears that idea, they go, "Oh my god!" Like imagine 12 people, like what I just did. Imagine 12 people all in the same place at the same time. But there's nothing to say that they couldn't be two teams running in parallel doing different things. Like imagine, right, the Leviathan, and think of how big that is as a setting. All right, you've got two teams of 6 that are fighting effectively in the same raid at the same time, coming into it from different directions. And maybe just for the last encounter, they're all in the same place. But maybe there's things that are happening over on their side that they need to do to allow you to progress, and vice versa. I think there's definitely a way that they can sort of have it be bigger in scope without it really needing to be too much more technically advanced. I've really got no idea, but I just sort of look at it and go, well, if they can have 12 people in a PvP game, they've got to be able to do it. But, you know, I know nothing.
just thinking about 12 being the number that I'm kind of focusing on, but just imagine if there was like a Warzone type of situation in Destiny for PvP, of course. Do you remember Warzone from Halo 3?
Yeah, I actually
yeah. And
Halo,
I reckon that
Halo
would
4.
work quite well.
Halo 4.
Oh, yeah. Like a PvP VE kind of environment in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Where it's Gambit.
And like you start off,
like Gambit on a bigger scale,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I
like
mean,
imagine being out on patrol and not only having to worry about like, you know, the fall in, but also there could be, you know, true
Dark
Vanguard out
Guardians
there
and
trying
all
to
that.
snipe your head off.
That sounds horrible. You're not selling it to me at all.
You're right. Never mind. Fuck that.
No, but, I mean that would be cool if you had patrol areas. Like if you wanted to do a little bit extra, you'd have patrol areas and you'd have Vanguard Guardians and you had Drifter Guardians, and it follows on for that story from Season of the Drifter. So you take us.
Uh-oh. Sloth's
I think you broke it. You broke the internet.
You dropped it.
Oh god, have I dropped?
No, you're right. You're back.
Oh, fuck's sake.
You just stood really still for a minute. There we are. We're at the limit of fucking the internet's output. We're running right at the coalface. This is as hard as you can push the internet.
All right. So did you hear that? Like if there was like a Vanguard Titan group, a Vanguard Guardian group and a Drifter Guardian group, and they were like, you could load into a patrol, but you also, like as Briar said, you have to watch out for people up on the mountaintop with the Darcy just going, I'm going to take your fucking head off. And then you've got people just wanting to do a patrol normally. Like that would be really cool. I don't know how
as long as it's opt-in. Because I mean, could you imagine just getting ganked?
Opt-in, definitely opt-in.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
But like, so, like, but you can totally like, you know, like if you opt into that, then you're to get legend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you up a loot drop, right? Yeah.
And like
That'd be
suddenly
nice.
patrol is like that much.
Cut for a
Missed
sec.
that
there.
completely.
I'm
Sorry,
just gonna
bro.
lip read. I'm gonna lip read. It'll be fine. It's, you know what the weirdest thing about this fucking issue is? That the video is crystal and that's the audio.
The video is completely fine.
Like, fucking hell. We could handle it if the video was shit. Oh, well. Anyway.
Well, it is what it is. But there was a link that you brought up, Briar, just as you joined the chat, and it was a bit of an interview with Mark Noseworthy from PC Gamer, which is really cool, talking about what is the future of it, and we'll just grab some points out of it. So thank you very much for bringing that to our attention, mate. Charting Destiny 2's independent future, really. From Alec Wiltshire from PC Gamer.
Yeah, it's definitely
It
worth a
really
read.
is a marathon, says Mark Noseworthy, Destiny 2's general manager, where we are a perpetual motion machine. I cannot speak. What else is new? But I can't speak today. At E3 earlier this month, Destiny 2 won Best Ongoing Game Award in the critics' vote. The week before, Bungie had dropped the third and final part of Destiny 2's annual pass, Season of Opulence, and revealed the next expansion this September. Shadowkeep will take players back to the moon where that wizard came from. The fact that I've got people in my community and many other communities who are sending out tweets and sending DMs and all that sort of thing going, moon's haunted.
That is a fucking
fantastic.
pervasive meme. That is the new bread meme. That's not going anywhere.
It's so good, man. It's so good. But like that's and NASA's actually tweeted, no, the moon is not haunted.
I think that's a jet. Is that? I don't know that they really did that. Did they?
I don't know. I mean, if they did, that's really cool. But I like it. It's pretty fantastic.
It seems a bit
I'm
below
pretty sure
NASA.
they did. That was real.
Really?
They actually, yeah, they got, they're
Yeah, there'd have to be a few Guardians in there, right? Like in the mix,
yeah.
doing cool shit.
Well,
It was
Guardian Radio. One of the founding members of Guardian Radio worked at NASA. Chris.
Wow.
He ended up quitting because he started working on a project and basically goes to the ball sensors to the moon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the founding members of Guardian Radio.
So when
And
when all of this actually happens, we'll have him to thank. when there's a collapse. Or blame, one of the two. What is he going to find on the moon? I'm worried about this. I'm going to have to reach out. What do you know that we don't? I'm paranoid now.
Yeah, but I highly recommend. So we'll chuck it in the comments of the YouTube video, and we'll chuck it into the live chat as well. It's definitely worth a read.
There's
regardless.
the one. Where's that ripping quote? Where's that ripping quote, Briar? I've been scrolling.
Wait,
through
I
trying to
put
find
it in Discord.
Are we a AAA blockbuster retail game for Walmart? Diet Halo? Wow, with guns. We've been tossing this around for a long time, says Mark Noseworthy. We want to pick a corner and stand on it. Let's not worry about Joe Walmart, like someone who buys GTA in one other game. We don't want to be that one other game. That person doesn't want Destiny. They're not going to marry Destiny the way that we want players to marry it, you know? Solid. Solid quote. I like
That is 103 what they were year and a half.
Yeah, it's a complete flip on its head, right? From where we were at launch. It is absolutely. And look, there was, for me, I was like kind of. No, I'm not going to say I was super receptive of the way that they were approaching Destiny 2 when it first came out, but I thought that if it had worked, it would have been a good thing to up the player base. But I think now they've realized that it's something that isn't for everyone, and to really up the player base, it needs to double down on what it always has been and has done well. And I think that's reading that statement from Mark. It is definitely, they've ironed that out. I'm not sure where the standing on the corner is like that. I don't know.
My question is, what do you mean by what it always has been? Because to me, Destiny changes like every 6 months. For a while, it was a heavy PvP game. Most most players were
fair point.
to it for Trials of Fire. For a while, it's a heavy raid game, or it's a heavy gambit. Who they target Destiny at 3 months, every 3 to me, this quote says we're going to narrow our focus. We're going to target the people. Like, we're going to try and make Destiny like one thing, not try and like change Destiny on targeted.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, I mean, and only good can come of that, because it's just doubling down on what they do, right? Like, it's, and you're right. And in hindsight, now that you've said that, I'll look back and there's sort of like, as much as there weren't established seasons like there is now, going through Destiny 1, there was definitely that sort of flavor of, like, it was really only the Taken King that came with a bit of everything. House of Wolves, for the most part, was Trials. And Crota was sort of the first toe in the water. It was, the analog for Osiris. There wasn't all that much going on with it. But it did flip between the two tones. And now I think we're definitely in a PvE glut, right? Like, there's been nothing going on the PvP front for a while. So I definitely think they're going to service that with Shadowkeep going forward. But I just think they need to iron out what it actually is that drives people. And I think that by the sound of it, they're pretty confident on the fact that they've done that.
See,
listen. There's not really much more to say in regards to that. Like, it's just whatever they do in the future, they are visibly exuding excitement and well, they're exuding excitement to what comes next.
Yeah, and
it is really, really nice. It is really nice to see that every single person that is either come into the podcast or we've interacted with on Twitter, they are really excited about what comes next. Now, I know that's kind of a, well, Adam, that's very obvious, but I feel like that they were suffering a little bit under Activision rules, so to speak.
I'll be honest with you. I played less Destiny 2 during the season of the Gambit than I've ever played.
Yeah, I'm a bit down on Gambit.
Absolutely same. Yeah.
I did not. I did not like Season of the Gambit. I didn't really like Season of the Forge. I like that we got a raid, but Forges I thought were really boring. Play old. Get Season of Opulence really came around. Now, but new Season of Opulence was good.
It cut so hard.
Cut so much out. I'm gonna leave the call. I'll come back.
All right, man. All right.
Just so
Slot's face. Hello.
Is that any better? Hopefully that's fixed.
I don't know.
Is your
fucking transcontinental internet cables? Do your job.
I hate to do this. Briar, but is your sensitivity just a tad too low or high in Discord?
It should be right. I think it
should be. I'm sorry, man. I know that you probably got it set up
gating.
to a point where it works for you.
It sounds like just drop out.
How about that? Is that any better?
That sounded fine.
Well, it's
yeah.
It sounds.
Yeah,
fine
I could also turn off my camera. Maybe that would help. Just send in audio, no camera.
No,
we can see you. We can see you.
Yep. The audio sounds fine there for the moment.
All right, let's just go with it then.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry to muck you around.
It's just one of those things. Every now and then we get this fucking issue. It used to be. Remember when we were on Skype back when we were primitives?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What were we up to? Yeah, and I echo your sentiment with that, Briar, in that like Opulence has definitely brought a lot of. I think the way I look back at the seasonal content now is like they kind of were trying different things, and it was really apparent that they were trying different kind of models of content to see what people liked, and then by the time it came around to Opulence, whether by design or intuition, they've managed to iron all of that sort of stuff out and bring it together in a way that kind of makes sense. I think it bodes well for where we go from here. But the other thing that I was going to say before was that Bungie, I think they're doing a really good job of taking the opportunity to have a second chance at a first impression with Destiny, right?
Oh, man. I think they got super lucky that Opulence was good. Because imagine if they were trying to sell you another season pass.
And it was average. You just wouldn't have a bar of it.
If they were trying to sell you another season pass during Season of the Drifter.
I'll tell you what, like, I think the three of us tend to agree. Like, Season of the Drifter just wasn't very good. And I wholeheartedly agree with you there. If they did that, the game would be dead in the water at the moment. Not dead game, not the meme of dead game, but it would be
it'd be a much harder sell. It'd be a much harder sell.
It would be a much harder sell. Yeah, for sure, 100%. Just before you move into that next point, I just want to reference this video that Reflex and someone else in the chat was talking about. A Guardiancon new Destiny 2 exotic teased. I'll put the link in the Discord chat so you guys can see it as well. But it looks like a machine gun with some sort of worm, and the machine gun is obtaining power from this worm.
There's a worm on the machine gun.
If you go to a 38-second mark, there's a picture, and it's basically there's these yellow cables that feed in from a amber-like substance, with some sort of bug, insect, wormy type looking thing, some sort of hive looking thing that's sitting in there.
That's cool looking.
What you were describing to me sounds like a gun that's powered by tequila. How right, mate. I haven't seen it at all. But it's just going to go around. Anyone cool. You shoot will not die instantly. They will die tomorrow when they wake up. Oh, fuck.
But no, that's a that looks really cool. And if it's something to do with Hive, maybe from a little bit of a lore theory crafting type of situation, the Guardians of the Tower, the Vanguard, or the Drifter, or the Nine, or something like that, has figured out a way to capture something of the Hive, put it into this amberlite crystal, and then utilize the power of the Hive against the Hive.
I think
does that make sense?
The worm. Use the power of the worm.
Yeah. I mean, that's tequila. It's tequila. I'm never going to be able to get that out of my head now, the tequila gun. I've not even seen the fucking things, but that's what it is from now on. But
back to what you were saying, it would be a hard sell, and if they tried to do the Curse of Osiris again, it would be a really difficult sell once again. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have spoken about this on the DCP, but now that it's just Bungie working on Destiny and not having the help of High Moon and VV and all that sort of thing, will we see a slower turnover of content for more content, if that makes sense?
I think that remains to be seen, right? Vicarious Visions did a lot of Destiny 2 content. I'm not real sure how much High Moon Studios did. Like, they never really advertised it when High Moon was putting out content. But I know Vicarious Visions was huge in what was the Mars DLC last year?
Warmind,
right? Yeah. And the event on Mars too, where Escalation Protocol, I thought was one of the best events they've ever had in Destiny. And it was really sad when they nerfed it, so it wasn't as difficult as it was when it first launched.
Yeah.
Because what it did was it brought people together in a public event and gave them like a way to like unite as a community to take down like a really tough challenge. And I thought that was genius. And Menagerie kind of reminds me of that in a lot of ways. So losing Vicarious Visions, like they also created the PC port of Destiny 2.
Oh, no. And that's the thing that concerns me is that, like, while we're still playing Destiny 2, great, because it's so well fucking optimized. You could run it on anything. It's insane. But I worry about like, I mean, I hope that they can still keep some kind of professional relationship with them. I mean, as much as they're in the Activision stable and all that sort of stuff, but
Vicarious Visions has been really quiet on Twitter. Like those guys who work there, like they've been really quiet about what they're working on. So my guess is they're not working on this anymore. They're on some new Activision product.
Yeah. Well, goodbye. So long. Good luck. It sucks, man. But yeah,
I'm bummed about it because those guys were really good.
I
don't know if Bungie's bummed about it though. I think Bungie was kind of insulted that they had to give away their baby to another studio.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd piss me off. I think when you look at it like that way, when you look at it from that perspective, I don't know. I mean, that and the other thing is too, like clearly the people at Bungie are fucking very good at what they do, and that's why they're there. Like even hearing a little bit about their interviewing process, I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? It's pretty intense.
My fear of a Bungie without Activision is, do they ever actually release anything? Right? Because I always feel like it was Activision that was pushing Bungie to actually like hit a release date. God damn it! Like, you know. We know that Destiny 1 was delayed by more than a year. We know Destiny 2 was delayed by more than a year. Like, does Destiny actually make a Destiny 3 without Activision? Like, telling them, like,
it comes out in 2026 and it's perfect. And the DLC seasons will be 2 years long.
Unfortunately, it comes out in 2026 for the PlayStation 4.
Oh goodness,
we got there eventually.
What about if they did a kind of again? I hate doing this, but it's the only thing that I can really draw a parallel to a World of Warcraft where they don't update the engine, they don't update the look of the game, they just keep piling stuff on top of it. Yeah. For people who go out and buy the 20 series graphics cards like 2080 Ti's and all that sort of thing, like you don't need that to run Destiny 2. As you said, it's very well optimized, but just building on the content and the lore that's there rather than building on the engine and making it look really pretty. I would much rather better content than a prettier game.
That's what I was disappointed about when Destiny 2 came out on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox, was that why did you optimize this game for high fidelity graphics but 30 FPS when everybody was asking for 60 FPS?
Yeah, there's got to be some technical limitation that it's hitting there.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah,
I'm with you 100%. I'd much rather see them, push a lower fidelity game at 60 FPS. Like, I was so surprised they did that.
Well, the only game that runs at 60 FPS on console on the current generation of consoles is Overwatch. And even then, it's not a steady 60 FPS. Now, these new consoles that are coming out, the Xbox whatever, Project Scarlet, and the PlayStation 5, because the naming conventions of Sony are basic bitch. But it's...
I want to say shots fired, but that's not even a shot. That's just a fact.
But like the FPS would be really, really good, and so I personally believe, and I know the log subscribes to this belief as well, is that Destiny is better. It looks better, it plays better, it is better on PC.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a nice thing to tell people.
That's not a jab. That's not a console. That's not a PC master race thing. That's just what I believe. It looks better on PC, and I think it looks good enough to last until 2026 or whenever.
Yeah, I would agree.
Whenever the next iteration is.
When the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox 420 come out, I fully suspect that they will run at 60 FPS at higher resolutions. Imagine like 4K 60 FPS on the next generation of consoles. Like that alone is so much of an upgrade that I think console players will be pretty psyched to get that.
Do you think we're going to find ourselves? Do you think we're going to find ourselves in a like Rise of Iron type situation again, where they're leaving legacy consoles behind, and it's like the Xbox One, and
eventually they have to, right? Like, I mean, that's to.
Sorry,
you want to be able to develop content for like the newest stuff, and like eventually you got to be like, that is a 10-year-old piece of hardware you're playing on. I'm sorry, but we got to let it go.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good point to make. Now, moving away from Destiny just for a sec, these new consoles, they need to be accessible for people who don't have an office like the three of us or the four of us, including Matt. It needs to be accessible from a price point perspective. And I think the more that these platform holders they try and put more technology, they try and jam more technology into these new consoles, but they don't realize that by doing that and upping the price, they're kind of stopping people from accessing those platforms, so to speak. I hope that makes
Google
sense.
Stadia.
Well, look, we've had a couple of conversations about it, and I think we've look. I'll cut everyone in the audience in this entire podcast, and all the technical difficulties that we've had with Briar so far have not been luck or bad, or, bad management. It's been us highlighting why Google Stadia probably won't work in Australia. Because the concern for me is like just what happens with shitty internet. Like, how does that work then? I hope it does. But
issue, but see, that's the thing. Like Google Stadia. It seems cool. It seems like a fantastic platform, especially for people who only have a tablet or a phone or whatever to play on. But the network requirements for 60 FPS and let's say 720 viewing is so large that unless you're living in that dead straight line of being on Google Fiber, it's probably not going to work for you personally. And like in our country, in the very least, they're like the issues. It just wouldn't make it unplayable, even at 30 FPS. It is just unplayable. It would be 100% unplayable, which is really kind of frustrating. But I can't input lag. Thank you, Sass.
I hear that Australian internet is pretty rough. Like I've heard that like a lot over the last few years. Since I've really joined the Destiny community, is like the Australian brothers and sisters out there are like, yo, our internet sucks. But
it's one of those things we take
recently,
like a pride in.
Yeah. Recently I was playing a Steam game on my iPad using I think it's called Steam Link. I'm not sure what the app is called. Is it called Steam Link?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've tried that kind of service before. I've tried it with PlayStation. I think they have remote play on the PS Vita. You remember the PS Vita?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always a bad experience. There's too much lag. And for the first time, I was playing a game called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Have you guys checked that out yet? It's like a Castlevania.
Yeah, that looks really good.
It's super good. I highly recommend it. But I was playing that. That's a 2D action platformer. I was playing that on my iPad, and I was playing it with imperceptible lag. I was like, holy shit, have they finally figured this out? Is this really something they can do? With Google having, the network that they have and the structure that they have, if they can get you close enough, or if they can get their servers close enough to your house that you're not like trying to communicate, across oceans and shit. Like this could be a thing. It's the pricing is fucked right now, but they'll figure that out eventually.
To be perfectly honest with you, Briar, I haven't even looked at the pricing of the Stadia, and I probably should have done because we do a podcast on Destiny.
I think we saw Stadia.
I haven't even looked at the pricing on
this would be really nice, but I don't think it'll work. How expensive is it?
Like you're gonna have to pay. I think it's like $10 a month, like for a premium membership. Destiny 2 is free as long as you pay for your pro membership, but you have to buy games for retail price. So you're paying a monthly subscription, and then you're
it's basically
buying a game.
Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus.
No, because when you stop paying PlayStation Plus, well, I guess it's like PlayStation Plus.
If your PlayStation became useless the second you stopped paying for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you bought $180 worth of games on Google Stadia, then you stop paying Google Stadia, you'd lose access to those games. because you don't have a piece of hardware in your house that plays those games, and you don't have a physical copy of that disc, or you don't have a downloaded copy on a hard drive somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's going to be legal intricacies that come into this that we have not yet seen in that respect. It's, I don't know. I'd like to think that they'll go down a model like, something like the games with gold that you get with Microsoft, where maybe it's really just tentpole releases that you're going to have to pay for outright, and then there's a lot of like a back catalog of games that you can access just simply by having a subscription. But I mean, if it's a brand new thing, it'll be the first one administered by Google. And like, while I echo what Briar's saying in that, like, if there's anyone that's going to pull this shit off, it's fucking Google, right? Like, they're the only people with the reach that are even going to get close to this. So,
yeah, I mean, Microsoft, I think, might be able to do it too, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, well, Microsoft have already kind of moved into that sort of thing with the crossplay with PC, so you can play Sea of Thieves with your PC mates.
Oh man, I love
on
that
Xbox
fucking game. I'm gonna go back to that. Holy
but
shit.
That game is so good. I'll play it with you anytime. Let's pirate together.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, dude, I'm done. I'm gonna message. I'm gonna annoy the shit out of you about that now.
But no, the as Sassy said in the chat, also the fact that Stadia will be its own Destiny ecosystem with no crossplay.
That doesn't bug me. I'm not going to Stadia to play raids or to play PvP on. I'm gonna play Stadia on my TV in my living room because I'm away from my PC, but I want to put my feet up on the living room, like on the up. I want to put my feet up and lean back with a controller and just grind out some strikes or whatever.
Absolutely.
And I can do that at 60 FPS at 4K in my living room, which is not something that the consoles can provide to me.
That the current consoles can provide, yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
But there's no crossplay. There's no crossplay. There's no there's no cross save, which is.
But noteworthy also mentioned that crossplay is something that they're looking at.
Yeah, they have, and they've alluded to it. They've alluded to it more than once. Yeah. What I'm going to do, dudes, I'm going to open up the chat. So if you're rocking on in chat and you've got questions and all that sort of stuff, as much as we've been looking at it for the entire time, it's now going to be recorded in YouTube history for forever. So don't say anything too naughty. Right. But if you've got any questions or things you'd like for us to discuss or, anything else, I mean, if you want life advice, I'm sure we can work that out too.
God, don't take life advice from me.
I will happily give life advice.
Crossplay is an interesting conundrum once again. Like it seems like they're waiting for the new generation of consoles to for that to come in. And if what is being reported from E3 rather, it could make things really, really cool. But again, like if people are running at 300 FPS and all that sort of thing, will PC have the advantage? Will PC have the advantage on a crossplay situation?
I mean, maybe not. I mean, there's a lot of people playing PC with controllers right now. Yeah, they're definitely going to have an advantage in frame rate and in field of view. Like, there's no doubt about that. But, you can even restrict it so that, if you log into PvP on a PlayStation, then you play with PlayStation people. But if you log in and, let's say I'm playing on PlayStation and you're playing on PC and you invite me to play some PvP, then we join the PC lobby, and I've got to deal with that because we're now in a group and we're gonna play in the PC like big lobby. But if I'm just playing with PlayStation folk, we're playing with PlayStation folk, and then anybody can raid together, anybody can run strikes together, anybody can patrol together. But there'd just be a little bit of segregation when it comes to straight up PvP.
I think the other thing they could do that would alleviate a lot of the issues would be nice. They just need to enable keyboard and mouse for next gen consoles. They need to make that a serious option, because then there's no that whole thing resolves itself. Like if you're serious enough about you wanting to play PvP in a microcosm where it's Xbox and PlayStation and, you know, fucking PC players are all chucked together and you're on a PlayStation. If you really want to sweat, go and get a keyboard and a mouse and plug it into it. I don't know if it's, honestly, I haven't fired up a console in 6 months, so I haven't really been abreast of that. But you reckon you can do it now, Briar?
Yeah, you can. You can get a device. I can't remember what it's called now. I have one around here somewhere because
It's
Zim or whatever they are.
Zim.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
I remember Dr. Lupo used to use it
Yeah.
when he was on in Destiny 1 a lot. And DCP actually, Pope got us into like a matchup against Bungie where we had to play Bungie, but Bungie insisted that we play on PlayStation 4, and I hadn't touched a controller in 8 months.
Yep.
So I got a Zim to try and use a mouse and keyboard on a PlayStation. It was different than using it on a PC, but it was definitely usable.
I think there's a lot of things with that though that if you go about it that way and you use sort of that intermediate peripheral device like a Zim that enables you to connect it and map it and whatever, that it doesn't disable the things that make it feel fucking weird. Like there is a huge amount of aim assist because I mean I've been basically playing on the lounge, much like Briar was saying what he would do with Google Stadia. I've just been doing that with a laptop on the PC, playing a bit with controller again, and like, dude, as an example, you know the hunted section of Menagerie where it's all the tunnels and you got to jump on the pads and there's all the thrall running up the tunnels.
Yeah.
I had the recluse, right, and I'm just looking down the tunnel and I was holding the trigger and it would just go like that to the thrall and move it for me. And I was like, kind of, I want to, me being me, I'm just going to have a drink. So I'm just holding down the trigger and it's basically aiming for me. So I think if they could make it so that, like, it was like you got the mouse and keyboard experience on a console, I think it'd be a way of leveling the playing field. It's probably not ideal because people want to play in their living room and shit. And I totally respect that. But
the aim assist that Bungie creates is like top of the line, right?
Yeah,
it's the best. It doesn't feel like you're being aim assisted, but you are, and it just feels good. But it's so good that you can play with a controller on PC and be competitive. If you are getting sniped consistently in the Crucible, like 9 times out of 10, that's a controller player doing that, right? Because it's much harder to snipe with a mouse and keyboard than it is with a controller.
Oh hell yeah! I went from controller on PC. I moved to mouse and keyboard at Christmas. And I am still shitter on a mouse and keyboard than I was on a controller, and by a fair way. Like,
you were shit anyway.
I mean, that's what I mean. There wasn't much there to begin with, and I've lost.
Now go back to a controller, and you'll realize, oh shit, I've lost that too.
Yeah, I have. That's what
I've literally got nothing anymore.
No, I'm just
I've got
crap.
nothing.
I'm shit. I'm shit. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore. I'm just fucking nobody. I mean, I've always been shit, but now I'm shit.
I thought this was a Bloodstained podcast. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
A question from GTO Nosu 0611 at Real Time Sloth. When can we get another dance? Never. Shut up.
Can we get a story about you hitting a kangaroo with a truck?
Oh, there was that. Yeah.
Oh,
this is a serious one. But it's such a stereotypical story that we need to tell it.
So I thought they were fucking with me when they mentioned it.
My wife works all day as you know, people who work normal hours do, and she likes going to the gym after dinner, and that's usually about 9:30, 10:30 in the evening. And the other night it was raining. It was darker than usual. There are no street lights on this road between here and the gym, and I was driving there. I had my arm hanging out the window, cigarette in hand, you know, music playing, and lights were on. Yep, exactly, just like that. I saw something glint out on the right hand side of the road, and what the fuck is that?
Did you
and
think
then
it was
kangaroo?
Did you think it was a scannable item that you could go and interact with? Sorry, my bad.
And I was doing about 90 k's an hour, about 50 miles an hour, and then this I just had this fur beast thing sitting in like over the top of the bonnet of the car, right in front of the windscreen, and I've gone, fuck, and reefed the steering wheel to the right to try and miss it. And I did miss it, luckily. It was wet. The car was skidding all over the place. There was, I sat on the side of the road for 10 minutes, breathing heavily, because if that had come through the windscreen, it wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good. But holy crap, I've never come that close to having a kangaroo come through the windscreen. Like, I've only got a little car. I've only got a
screen. Says, you died.
You died. Fucking hell.
What a way to go.
But no, I sat on the side of the road. I was breathing really heavily. I was like, I got back. I went and picked up Lindsay from the gym, and I got back, and Nick was messaging me, "Hey man, do you want to set up this audio thing now?" And I was still sitting there. It took me 10 minutes to write this message out because I was shaking. I was visibly shaking from almost hitting this thing. Like, it would have been game over. I'll tell you what.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. You spent the 10 minutes cleaning your undies.
Listen. I changed
you were
my.
out the
I
back,
changed my
hose
back
on
when
your
I got
pants.
back.
I think you were throwing all his drugs out the window to the side of the road. Too much.
But yeah, it was really frightening. Like I said, I've only got a little car. I've only got a little Mazda 3, and it would have.
Oh god,
it wouldn't have been good.
For some reason, I imagined you in like an American pickup, just because of the way you described it.
No,
just listening to Lynyrd Skynyrd or something. Shit, just belting along the road. Oh well,
damn man, it was.
I'm getting my stereotypes mixed up.
But no, that was very, very frightening, very frightening. And I tell you what, I've slowed down going on that road in the middle of the night. I have slowed down significantly. I was like I said, I was doing 90 k's an hour. That's a speed limit there, but yeah, I have slowed down dramatically.
Yeah, they're bloody big things. I think everyone sees kangaroos like the zoo kangaroos. The little grey bastards that are about, I don't know, they're only
little tiny greys,
2.5 foot tall. And then when you see like full blown red kangaroos that are 8 feet tall, you're just like, holy shit. They're a different thing, man. They are mean and they're big. But I want to get into Briar for a sec. Now, I assume Nick's throwing you under the bus with this, but he wants you to tell us about Ferrari Fridays. This is in chat, so.
All right. So earlier I was trying to pimp your Patreon. My personal Patreon is to be able to afford multiple Ferraris so that we can have a community of folk come and enjoy these Ferraris on a racetrack. Of course, we have to build a racetrack too. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but I think it's fun. Ferrari Fridays, come on over. We'll race some Ferraris, have a couple beers, we'll play a little grab ass. It'll be good.
Fridays
is exactly what it sounds like.
At $5 a month, I imagine the patrons would just be able to come and do this in about 300 years.
The Ferraris that are expensive, we're gonna have to up the Patreon limit here.
$5 a month. That'll get you one lap in a Opel fucking.
Or hey,
a gallon of gas in your Ferrari.
you could go peak social media influencer here and sell people runoff from the Ferrari in a little tub, right? Maybe drape yourself over it suggestively and like Briar's Ferrari runoff.
It. Oh my lord!
I think it's a money spinner, man. I don't know. I'd buy it.
You know the worst part, like that.
Are we going to talk about Belle Delphine?
No, yeah, we're going to. So that lass, I saw it and I was just like, what the fuck? But then Belle Delphine selling her bath water in a store.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, how does she package this exactly? It's
in a little jar.
Like a baggie of water?
It's
takes a bath. Takes a bath, grabs a jar of it, seals it, sends it. The worst part is that I was scrolling through a news site. A man has been sent to hospital for drinking a internet celebrity's bathwater.
That can't be real. That can't be real.
I don't know if it was real or not, but you know what? If that's the kind of like the Darwin's rule.
Darwin is alive and well.
We protect the stupid, and I don't know if it's wise long
We
term.
do protect the stupid.
Like short term, yes, it's kind. We want the stupid to live and live meaningful and long lives, but long term, you got to understand these motherfuckers are going to breed and create more stupid. Right? In the old days, stupid gets killed by stupid. You don't have to worry about them breeding.
Yeah, exactly, right? Maybe we just need to get rid of all handrails. Or for the betterment of humanity, handrails are gone.
Can we not get rid of handrails? I kind of need it when I don't wear my leg.
Definitely start selling more bathwater on the internet because no intelligent human being.
And we need to bring back that thing with the Tide where people were eating Tide Pods. That was a good one too. I think we culled a few idiots out of that. And anyone licking ice cream in a shop.
Yeah, I saw Snaps tweet about that the other day, and people open like. No. I can't remember what the ice cream brand was, but it's not sealed. Every ice cream brand in Australia is sealed. But this lass walking up, ha, so funny. Open up this ice cream, gave it a big old lick, put the lid back on, put it in the freezer, ran off.
They caught her.
And then did they catch her? Good.
Yeah, they caught her. They caught her because she did something illegal and filmed it and put it on the internet. Apparently, the sentence for that is from 2 to 20 years.
Good.
So, you imagine this poor girl on her first day in prison. What did you do? I licked the ice cream. You're gonna get fucked bad.
Yes.
But this is the thing: is that like stupid kills stupid. But the fact that people do this shit for followers on Instagram or to be, you know, like it's so indicative of where the world is going. And I fear for my daughters. Like they're very smart. They're very, very smart for 13 years old. But it doesn't take much to be sucked into this.
Sloth,
bullshit.
you don't have to worry about it, man. Look, your daughters are going to grow up and they're going to be intelligent young women, and you're not going to have to worry about them licking ice cream on video because you're going to teach them, you know, the difference between right and wrong is stupid and all that, right? The problem is there's always been stupid people out there. There's always been people who want attention so much that they're willing to put it above everything else. Now it's just that they have like a way to actually do it.
They've got the means. Yeah.
You know, it used to be back in the 1960s, it was something like the Gong Show. If you could do something stupid and you're willing to humiliate yourself, here's the avenue right here. You know. Now everybody's got that avenue. So
it's basically just
intelligent people aren't going around licking ice cream. You know?
The internet's turned itself into one giant episode of Jackass. Is basically what's happening here.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's like super intelligent conversations happening all over the internet too. You know, you can get into real political debates. You can talk about, all sorts of stuff. You know, the religion, politics. You know, equal rights. You know, there's tons of really intelligent conversation out there. It's just, you know, what do you want to listen to right now? Sometimes it's funny to see somebody lick a thing of ice cream and put it back in the freezer. Other times you want something a little deeper.
Speaking of that, Log, I'd never watched this dude before, but Log actually put me onto a video of this fellow, this Australian YouTuber who used to be a male model, but he did a video of he used to model for Sprite. But he put out this video
a drink?
I don't fucking know, mate. And he puts out this video if Warhammer 40k was set in Australia, and that had me hooked. This dude's name's Friendly Geordies, and I've been watching a lot of his stuff, and it's like a massive piss take. But the underlying comments of like on how he gets his point across by being really quite funny, but it is a very valid point, so to speak.
Yeah,
he's
good channel, man.
really, really, really good. I don't do it justice. I really don't. But like, he's good. He's good people. Him and his team are really, really good people.
This is just tangent fest now. Is there any questions? Hang on, there was something what did Kim say earlier that I remember she said something, but I didn't.
So Chibi Kim, or while you're searching for the comment, something that's come out of Guardiancon that I saw and that I completely made a meal of when Briar and Log joined the call. But congratulations to Rezo, a filthy yam yam, and Rezo just call me Catch for their
impending nuptials,
proposing to impending nuptials. Thank you.
That's it.
That's super cool.
It is really cool. You know what? That's the second. Now, I don't know either of them personally, but it's the same with our mates Moxie and Ben of Glory. Found each other in Destiny 1. Yeah. And Ben's from the UK and Moxie was from Canada. And they're married and they now live together in the UK. It is absolutely amazing.
It's a fucking head trip.
Multiple stories of this. Stories of this.
It's a fucking head trip.
Cool, man.
When you think like, what if they didn't log on to Destiny that one day, that their whole fucking life would have, like there was a moment where they went, yeah, I'm going to play Destiny. And from that point, their life is tangented to meeting the person who, right? There will be children that will exist because of Destiny. Isn't that a weird thought?
Yeah, exactly.
Kim, what do you name your kid?
You can't call it Cade. You can't call it Cade. That's fucking too bad. A girl you'd get away with a Cora for sure.
A Cora?
Yeah. I mean, they'd need to be really authoritative and boring if you call them Zavala. Like, imagine a 3-year-old with a big, deep baritone voice just talking down to you in the kitchen. Dud.
Shax? Call him Shax?
Yeah, I could do that. Be a very angry kid.
I would say Mara, but yeah, nah.
Well, actually, I threw Mara out there as a decoy contender before Thea was born. I tried to get it under the radar because it sounded like a kind of normal name, and Rach instantly knew, and she's like, "No, we're not." I don't know how she knew. She just did. The bullshit radar went off. Kim is
after that sex pot.
Yeah, right. Kids with intergalactic space powers. Hard enough to handle as they are. Kim has suggested we could fund our trip to Guardiancon next year by doing a full Monty calendar.
I like the idea. I like
DDU
this
calendar,
idea.
half-naked firemen, but with sloth.
I like it.
Let me tell you something.
We could do like 1 month's firemen, 1 month's policemen, 1 day's construction workers.
Please don't give them ideas, Briar.
Please
don't give them ideas, mate.
I'm on board.
You can feature. You can have your own month. What's your?
I'll pre-order.
When's your birthday? When's your birthday? You can have your own month, man.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
But the funny thing about this is that there's a particular member of this podcast who isn't here to defend himself that has actually done exactly this.
He really has.
Matt. Every month you could have a different Destiny gun covering up your junk. Like you're holding a different Destiny gun.
Yeah, but it's going to need to be like a sniper rifle or something big, because you don't want to have like the fucking here's the little fucking, what do they got?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. A fucking wormwood could cover me up.
The Last Dance.
Christ almighty.
It always comes back to dicks.
So a question from the Destiny show. Thanks, mate. A question for Briar. What's your favorite expansion in the Destiny franchise and why?
Ooh, favorite expansion. I mean, it's got to be House of Wolves. It brought Trials of Osiris, which I think was revolutionary in gaming. Like it was so unique and so original that it made waves throughout multiplayer gaming. You know, up until we saw probably PUBG come out, it was the most unique version. It made every player who joined a PvP match feel like they were playing like a competitive PvP game, right? It upped the stakes so high. It was phenomenal. I think House of Wolves was incredible. The story of House of Wolves was a little bit disappointing, but there were other things that I really liked about House of Wolves. Do you remember how you had to find like certain sects of the wolves on a weekly basis and like go find them around the universe? I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's so long ago.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, sometimes you had to go to like
sometimes it was
Venus to go find them.
I remember was his name Pixis the Meek? That one. Yeah, and he was just like a dreg
Pixis,
but on crack.
Pixis the Meek. Yeah.
Like what are we picking on this guy? He's meek.
Chests. You remember having to farm the chest where you farm the chest. You do like a public event. Yeah, open the chest, get the key, run the fuck out of the area,
try and get the
reload, come back and try and open that chest as many times, just like we're doing in Menagerie right now.
It's funny how it comes full circle, isn't it?
Yeah, that was super fun. Like there's a bunch of fun stuff going on in there. And I felt like it was, everybody says that Taken King is the turnaround point for Destiny 2, but I truly believe House of Wolves was that turnaround point. Or for Destiny 1.
I think, what about you, Power Slave, you muppet?
What is my favorite bit of content in Destiny's history? Forsaken. I honestly reckon that the Forsaken
that's it, yeah.
mission structure and the way it was all sort of set in adventures, I think like the part of it that happened on the Tangled Shore was I think really like they will replicate that with Shadowkeep, no doubt. That'll be the model they'll go for. I hope that and the Dreaming City being a space that is its own endgame space. I think while I don't agree with everything that is in the Dreaming City and the way it's done, I think it's a great idea and it's a great launching point going forward. You know, like there should be more than one fucking spawn-in zone, right? But you know.
There should be.
There's little annoying things like that, or you know, you've got to go all the fucking way around just to get to Mara to give you a thing and then fuck off again. But I think for me, Forsaken was definitely where they righted the ship. I didn't dislike Warmind. I just don't think it quite offered enough. And I think, you know, fighting Zol at the end was a little bit underwhelming. But I think
that hurt.
They really hit their straps with Forsaken, and I think they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit with, you know, Black Armory and Season of the Drifter and things like that. I think they've refined the shit that they've learned since then in Opulence. But dude, this is the make or break for Destiny. Shadowkeep it'll be what it is in 5 years' time.
I don't think
we'll
it's
still be talking about it.
Forsaken though, right? I think
in terms of scope.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like a Rise of Iron size thing.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I didn't dislike Rise of Iron either at the time, but
no, me neither. I just don't think it's going to be as big.
Yeah.
No.
Time will tell. It's one of those things.
Yeah. What was that question
from
from Jim?
What about you, Slothy? You didn't answer.
Yeah, what do you think?
My favorite bit of content in Destiny as a whole, and I'm looking at this as with nostalgia more than anything, is Dark Below. Because the Dark Below is when I actually started getting into PvE. It's when I started getting into raiding, into Nightfalls, into doing the end game stuff. I got into Destiny, like I've been playing, like most people, I've been playing since Alpha, but I really didn't get into anything end game based until Dark Below, and I really enjoyed the Dark Below. Yeah, it was a strike, and yeah, it was a meme, but I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the entirety, even the lore of it, and that's before I even really got into the lore. It was really quite significant for me in regards to jumping into Destiny.
I think that's one thing that they've done well since, and I'm just talking about Crota as a bit of content. Crota was like, it catches a lot of shit because it was short, but I think that's in some instances that's fucking good, man. Because I can't be like, I don't do Last Wish fucking ever, because it's so long. It's such a fucking time commitment. It's a pain in the ass. Like it's, you know, like you need 6 people. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, people can blast through it in fucking half an hour, but those people aren't me. Where you look at the new raids, and the first time we did it in under an hour, and it becomes this sort of achievable thing where it's not like, oh, okay, it's 10 p.m. and someone comes into chat and says, oh, do you want to raid? And I go, oh, no, man, I don't want to be here for 3 hours. And I think that, like, I think that's important. And I think that we kind of, as a community, value, like, the length artificially. This is not an analogy for dicks.
I always
So just get that out of your mind now. But,
artificially, mate.
But, like, you look at
an analogy for dicks.
Yeah. Longer isn't necessarily better. It's all about the motion of the ocean.
Might be the length of.
Can we get a clip of that, please?
The funny thing is that I realised what I was about to say just before I said it, and I had no escape. Just
It might be
saw
the
my
length
own
of a
fate.
sewing needle, but you go like a sewing machine, mate.
Oh god, I don't need that.
All right,
mental
question from
image.
Grindhead Jim. Given that we are getting Armor 2.0, do you think it's logical that Weapons 2.0, Ghost 2.0, etc., will follow? Where is the next logical step in terms of deepening the RPG elements of the Destiny hobby?
I think the next logical step after armor will be weapons, but I don't think it'll be weapons in the same scope that there is armor, right? Like, we haven't seen what the full armor system is yet, but the important part of Destiny, and something that they've worked their way back to from the launch of D2, is random rolls. So I think for the most part, they've kind of nutted out where weapons need to be. Maybe there's depth can be added via the mod system or the masterwork system, but I don't think they're going to turn weapons on their head by any stretch of the imagination. You know, that was a big debate that went on for months. So I can't see weapons changing all that much. As for ghosts and stuff, I consider ghosts like basically on the same tier as armor, right? Like, it's nothing that you particularly like. It's not a tactile thing that you interact with. It's just a thing that you call up. So I'd like to see them rejig that system much the same way they seem to be doing with Armor 2.0. But without knowing what the full depth of Armor 2.0 really is, it's kind of hard to speculate on how they could apply that philosophy to anything else. If that,
Yeah, we really don't know that much about it.
Yeah,
And I hate speculating too much, because then I get my hopes up. Like, as I think of like all the awesome ideas that go through my head, I'm like, oh well, now all this shit's got to happen. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not gonna happen.
I've never thought about it from that perspective, that I'm just literally building myself up on a little mountain of yayness that's gonna fucking.
Yeah,
It's like, these are all the great ideas I have, and none of them are real. Oh fuck.
yeah. I'm just making shit up and then disappointing myself.
Like skill trees. People are saying, Sassy's saying skill trees. A rework of the subclass screens could drastically change the game. As in, when you say that, Fibonacci, are you referring to building your character from scratch again, or are you referring to?
Well, the subclass
Go on,
screen, similar to what you had in Destiny 1, where you get to pick all these different words.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back to that.
I would love to go back to that too.
I don't want to
but a
go
lot
back
of perks
to it. I want them
just didn't
to
get used.
I want them to create something new that's a more refined version of that, right? Like, I think where it is now, and it's probably I didn't even think about it in Jim's perspective, in the context of Jim's question, but it is probably the next thing after armor that they really could like sink some time into and change it up, because really they're not going to be adding fucking a whole heap of new supers and shit at this point, right? I mean, maybe they will, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't see them adding like what they did with Forsaken, where it was like, oh, guess what? Everyone gets a new fucking super sub ability, kind of, like there's a new ultimate or whatever. But I'd like to see them be able to do that, where people can more seriously customize the way their character plays. Because as it stands now, you've basically got the 3 trees and that's it. And you can change, like from a Titan's perspective, you can change the height of your shield and the grenade you throw, and that's about it. There's not much more to it than that.
Quite legitimately. Or what kind of puddle you can put on the ground as a warlock, or what kind of spin dance you can do as a hunter. Like, it's not really much there. Now, if they went something equivalent to the Destiny 1 system, that would be kind of cool, but that would also, a lot of perks just didn't get used by the wider community from the Destiny 1 system. So try and limit that.
That's Destiny, man. There's always shit. There's a lot of guns
No,
that don't
I
get
know.
used. There's redundancy in every game.
100%. There is redundancy. Yeah, but to try and limit that redundancy is what the reference I was making. It's like when you said the other week, mate, instead of having their own little bubbles, so the season pass has been their own little bubbles of content, but they're not tied in with anything else. What?
That fucking emote, man. That fucking it's fucking gonna haunt my dreams. It's horrible. Sorry. Sloth's Ken Tank's just come in and dropped Sloth's weeb emote, which is him with a pink wig on. Actually, you remind me a bit of Belle Delphine, actually. You should consider selling bathwater. Yeah.
Yatta?
Horrible. I can't even remember what you were talking about, man, but I'm just gonna go with yes and we'll move on.
Thank you to Zebra Without a Sword for doing that. There were things that were situational, like the right daily burns, vampire, warlock, scatter nades with the arms are so fun. And then from Fibonacci 1 again, on the other hand, the perks that we have in the current trees likely would not mesh well with selectable perks. Maybe it's a new set of selectable perks to go with the current trees. Maybe. I would love to see them not touch the skill trees yet and focus on more important things. More important things to me.
I can see a point system. Can you imagine something like Call of Duty currently uses like a pick
13 system? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Where, okay, so you can get, grenades that do extra damage, and maybe that's 1 point. Maybe you can get double grenades, and that's 2 points. Maybe you can get.
That would be pretty cool.
Grenades grenades that do something else, and then that's 3 points. So you build your character like what's really important to me. Buttwipe last night was talking about, he's a big fan of Code of the Missile because he can slide over ammo and get a 20% buff to his damage, right? So like maybe that's maybe that costs you 2 points, but you can put it on any. You don't have to use the Code of the Missile super. I can see something like that really working, because like the best stuff, you're going to have a trade-off all the time. Yeah, I really like having 2 grenades, but I also really like it, be able to get that 20% buff by sliding over ammo. And which one of those is more important to me in this situation?
Yeah, dude. Yep.
Building your own character, I think, that's that really does take that to the point of building your own character. And I know a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, have said that over the last couple of months. But that's I know it's a throwaway line, but if they were to put that into the game, it'd be really fucking exciting. It'd be really cool. Obviously, with the redundancies as you were talking about and changing it all, there would be good times to use it, bad times to use it, but it is up to you to use it.
Yeah, I think that like a point system would fit really quite well, because it sort of forces you down the line of the trade-offs. And that's ultimately what's important. I mean, it's Destiny. We're always going to arrive at some kind of fucking meta. Like within one day, there'll be 50 YouTube videos about this is the peak of the peak of the peak. But that's always going to be the way it is.
Which is bullshit anyway, really. If you think about it, like you got the best players in the world telling you what the best weapons are. You're not the best player in the world. The best weapons for them are not the best weapons for you. Like... honestly,
you're 100% right.
Because you watch True Vanguard snipe heads off of people 24/7. Doesn't mean that whatever sniper he's using is better than a submachine gun or a shotgun for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's all about context. It's like I got the God roll supremacy out of Last Wish, and I'm like, yeah, I've got the God roll. Yeah, I'm gonna take it in. I'm shit with it. I'm fucking. It's useless. It is wasted in my possession. Like if I could give it to someone who actually has some kind of fucking skill in that shit, I would gladly do so at this point. Right. Because for me to be in there going, yeah, I've got the God roll, and I still can't fucking hit a barn door. Yeah. What am I doing?
I love sniping. I'm no good at it, but I love doing it.
I like the thought of it more than the actual thing.
It's such a feel-good thing to hit it, yeah.
When you hit a quick scope or you just hit a headshot, it's beautiful.
It's satisfying.
Question from Sassy. If there was a new weapon type introduced, what would you like it to be? Example, auto Scotty, auto scout shoddy, etc., etc. Is there anything that they can really introduce?
Nunchucks.
A heavy pistol?
Nunchucks. Boomerangs.
Oh. Sold.
Imagine being that guy that's like
Clock.
the sniper that's just about to blow someone's head off, and then their fucking boomerang just in the back of their head.
I like it.
It's like
I'm
the
down
Family
with
Guy
boomerang.
skit.
Oh man, I forgot.
My
all right.
Lord.
Look, I think we've talked ourselves to a
That's
standstill.
solid.
I think we're at that point. Boomerangs.
But-
I'm gonna write some messages to Bungie people who will definitely ignore that
Boomerangs.
suggestion.
Add boomerangs.
You
But,
did it with
guys,
bows.
You did it with bows. Briar, thanks for coming on, man.
Yo, thanks for having me. This was a blast, man. I had a good time.
I'm glad that you did, man. I must apologize for messing about with Discord and messing around with the audio settings. and
We
all that
figured it
sort of
out.
thing.
We
I do
got there.
apologize.
We lived. We learned. We grew from the experience.
I know,
It's all
but
good.
I know. But ladies and gentlemen, if you kick it on in the live chat and you don't know who Briar is, what fucking rock have you been living under?
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
In the live chat, the links are there, twitch.tv/Briar Rabbit or twitter.com/the Briar Rabbit. Please go and check him out. It has been an absolute bloody pleasure having you on, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was really fun.
If you're watching on YouTube or listening to our live version, our audio only version, thank you very much for your continued patronage. If we missed anything, let us know in the comments on YouTube or add us on Twitter at DDU_podcast on Twitter. Jesus Christ.
I nearly knocked the fucking wall down.
You are an absolute cunt.
Oh no.
But let us know in the comments. Let us know on Twitter if we've missed anything. Questions, queries, doubtful points. Let us know there. And ladies and gentlemen, next week, that other bearded, what's his name? Mylan who?
Merlin Games.
He's back. He's back.
I'm sure he'll
next
have
week.
war stories.
So
I'm
make
sure
sure
he'll have war stories.
Make sure we'll talk about Guardiancon and all that sort of shit. But ladies and gentlemen, we have been the Destiny Down Under podcast with special guest host Briar Rabbit. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. All right. We don't have a creepy lore outro.
Yeah, I know. Who's going to say the law will find you like Matt always does?
Say good day,
Have you got some?
Hey, we should all just say that. I'm just going to say cunt and leave. That's what I'm doing.
Drop that C-bomb.
Drop it hard. Bye.